Hello and welcome back to Her Becoming. I am your host, Kayla Countryman. And today we have a special episode because it is part 5 of our Reset series, which is the final episode in this series that we have been embarking on for the entire month of September. Can y'all believe that September really blessed us with 5 Tuesdays? It was truly an honor to be able to host this series over 5 parts and really dive deep into different aspects of health and take a holistic approach to getting your life back on track and making some changes as we pivoted into the fall season last week and really setting yourself up for success through the end of the year. I know for me, this reset has come with a lot of challenges, but also a lot of growth points. I specifically identified areas that I wanted to focus, and I was able to make changes in those areas while also noticing different pain points I was having in other areas and really taking inventory of my life and understanding where things needed to shift because I've been on this journey with you all. So I hope that you had some of the same takeaways. In today's episode, we will end with a whole wrap up of the Reset series. But first, we are not done yet. We are still in the reset. Today is a really important topic and one that as a ex-business coach and true believer that everyone is here for a reason is really important to me. And that is career alignment and purpose. On this podcast, we talk a lot about sharing your gifts, about finding your purpose, around doing the work that you were sent here to do, whether that is through your job, through your business, through a passion project that you have, through your hobbies, through your community service. I truly believe, and I will die on this hill, that everyone is here to do something that only they can do. The gift that you were blessed with is something that only you have the ability and the power to execute, whatever that may be. And so the question that I want to start with in this 5th part of the reset is, what has been on your mind to create or build that you haven't taken action on yet? I'm going to say that again. What has been on your mind to create or build that you haven't taken action on yet? I start with this question because I know if you are listening to this podcast, if you are locked into this reset series, there's likely something on your heart or some idea, a vision that you have for what your life could and will look like. But there's also something that's possibly holding you back. There's something keeping you from taking that leap. And that's okay. We've all been there. In fact, I think that's just part of the creative process in becoming the person that you aspire to be. But today, I really want to lock into why haven't you taken action on that thing and give you a little bit of tough love, but just a gentle nudge to start taking into consideration what you have the power to start, build, and grow. Your purpose, more specifically, pursuing your purpose and actually taking action on it, is connected to your health because it gives your life meaning. Having misalignment in what you do, so maybe a toxic workplace, a lack of fulfillment overall, or being constantly burnt out, it shows up physically: poor sleep, anxiety, chronic stress, irritability. And so if you are only working in a job or a career that is constantly draining you and you are not balancing that with something that lights you up, you are going to be more prone to these health issues. In addition to that, having a purpose simply gives you a reason to keep going. It gives you something to work for. It gives you something to strive for. And that in itself is going to positively impact your overall health. Now, I know that there are a number of you listening to this podcast who simply hate your job. Maybe you don't completely hate it, but you don't feel lit up by it. You wish you were doing something differently. You want to switch career paths or start a business or build a brand or have a creative hobby. You want more for yourself. But what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about the fact that you want more? That's what we're here to talk about today. Because I want more for you too. I want more for everyone. And that isn't to say I don't think we all are enough. Every single one of us is enough as we are. As I always say, nothing is missing. I do believe that having purpose, having work that aligns with your soul's gifts, is incredibly important if you want to connect to that higher self version of you. If you want to really become the woman that you were sent here to be, she has passions and hobbies and purpose. That's what she desires. I also want to note here that it's not necessary for your job to be the thing that gives your life meaning. So, for example, if you don't love the 9 to 5 that you work, I actually think that's okay. I don't think that you have to be completely obsessed with your 9 to 5 or the job that you have. In fact, in America, we tend to over identify with our job and our career, and that's not great for your health either. Your job can just be your job. It can be somewhere where you show up, you do your job, and then you clock out or log out, close your laptop, whatever it may be. But if that's the case for you, I want you to ask yourself, what are you doing outside of that work to fill your cup? Whether it is starting a business or a brand, or whether it is picking up a hobby or giving back in your community or writing a book, starting a blog, making music, making art. Humans are here to be creative. And so I'm not saying go quit your job and start your business tomorrow. That's not the intention of this. It's okay to not get everything you need from your job. You are allowed to pursue creative endeavors outside of your job if that stability of having your job is important to you, which I know it is for a lot of us, and that's okay, especially in the world we live in today. Using myself as an example, I was running my business full time for 4 years. And then in February of this year, I went back to having a 9 to 5. And now I run my business and do this podcast in addition to my full 9 to 5. I am a project manager. I work for a Fortune 500 company. It is a great job. It's very stable. I enjoy it. I like the work that I do. And at the same time, I know that I will never stop doing what I feel I was meant to do. I don't feel I was meant to work my 9 to 5 and just do that. I know that I'm meant to have a greater impact and to help people also discover and find the greater impacts that they can have. And that's why I continue on with this podcast, continue on with health coaching, continue on with teaching yoga, because those are the things that fill my cup. And you can have those things too. Does it get overwhelming? Yes. Does it get chaotic? Also, yes. But to me, the overwhelm that I feel as a result of working my job and running my business is completely worth the fulfillment that I get from my business. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention the state of this world as we're having this conversation. I believe that it's more important than ever for Black women, for people of color in general, to have something outside of a corporate job. It really does build resilience, it builds independence, it can build abundance. Create something that is yours, that cannot be taken away. It doesn't mean that you have to monetize it. It can be something that is a hobby or a passion project on the side, but I'm also a believer in multiple streams of income, period. It's just incredibly important right now that we use our voice, that we stand in our power, create from our hearts, and make voices of color heard and present. Because in a world that's trying to strip them away, we have to show up. And for me, part of my activism is actually my business. Part of my activism is using my voice to put this podcast out. Part of my activism is having wellness coaching clients whose lives I can help improve so that they can also go on and do the work that they are meant to do. So what does this have to do with the reset? As you are getting your life back on track and setting yourself up for the rest of the year, I really want you to go inward and start to think about, what is your soul work? What are your gifts? What is your purpose? If you are someone that is already building a brand, already building a business, you already are stepping into that identity, amazing. I'm so happy for you. What shifts do you possibly need to make to get more on track? If you're someone that's never ventured into that, but you're curious, you want to take the leap, I have multiple episodes about this. Sharing your gifts, finding your purpose, getting started, building a brand. I will link them in the show notes. I was a business coach for 3 years, helping women entrepreneurs start and grow businesses and brands. So I am very well versed in this topic. I have a lot of knowledge to share. If there is something on your heart that you want to build, create, or start, this part 5 of the reset is your call to action to do it. Just do it. There's no reason not to. The only thing in the way is yourself. You don't need to spend a bunch of money, to buy a bunch of things, to hire a bunch of help. You can just start. You can just take small actions to begin. And that is my call to action to you as we wrap up the reset. Okay, so we've come to the end of our series. So I'm going to do a quick run through of all 5 parts that we have talked through, and then I'm going to leave you with some closing questions. Just like in part 1 of the reset, we opened with a life audit. We're also going to do a closing off. So the intention of the series overall, as I've said, was to help you get back on track, to help you really lean into the energy of Virgo season, transitioning into fall, back to school season, and really take accountability for your own actions. In part 1 of the reset, we started with the life audit to really identify any gaps, identify what areas of your life you needed to focus on for this entire month of September, and identify where you needed to give your attention in order to become the woman that you want to be. In part 2 of the reset, which is my personal favorite, we focused on the mind, your mental well-being, your mindset, how you can do thought work as part of your day-to-day to really build your habits, and how neuroplasticity impacts creating the life, creating the reality that you want to live. Then in part 3, we focused on the heart. We focused on emotional and spiritual well-being, specifically in connection. We talked about why it's important to connect to yourself, to connect to your higher power, and then also to connect with others and have community and the impact that community has on your overall well-being. In part 4, we focused on the body. We focused on your physical well-being in the areas of nutrition and nourishment, movement and exercise, and then cycle syncing and understanding how the different phases of your cycle will impact your physical health. And then today, we wrapped up by talking about career alignment. Really just giving you a call to action and helping you get into a space to start thinking about what actions you can take next, where you may feel misaligned in your career or in your work, and how you can fill your cup outside of your standard job. So we're going to end with a few prompts. I will place these prompts in the show notes so that you can journal on them at a later time and take them as you need. So question number 1. What has changed for you over the last 4 to 5 weeks? What areas of your life have you prioritized that were possibly getting neglected before? Question 2. What areas of your health, so mental, emotional, spiritual, physical, and career, still need some TLC? Be honest with yourself here. Question 3. What is one change that you made that you hope to sustain through the end of the year and beyond? Why? So with this one, I really want you to identify one single thing that you've done that feels sustainable and doable and that you are committing to keep up. And then I also want you to acknowledge the why behind that. Why has that one thing had such a great impact? And the 4th and final question, and we've heard this before, when you look back at this time in your life, what will your future self thank you for starting or stopping today? Okay, my loves, that concludes our 5-part reset series. Thank you so much for being here with me. This was our first series on her becoming, so I would absolutely love any feedback, thoughts, questions that you have. Your feedback is really important in the progression of this podcast. So thank you for being here. Please be sure to share this show with people you love, share on social media, tag me. I love to hear from you. It really means the world. I'm cooking up some exciting things in the background for her becoming, and I can't wait to share them with you. Last but not least, I am opening up enrollment for one-on-one coaching. So if you would like support in any of these areas of your health, your girl did get certified as a holistic health and wellness coach as of July, and I am slowly taking on clients. We can schedule a quick discovery call to talk about your goals and how I can support you in becoming the woman that you deserve to be. I will see you in the next episode, and until then, be well.